Brother's wife had an affair with me, but he won't believe that I didn't know. Everything feels like it's falling apart and I don't want it to end this way. My older brother and I used to be close as kids, but we had different lives. Both had the same dad but different moms. My mom was a junkie, so his mom used to let me stay with them often. Around my senior year of high school, I started falling into the same thing as my mom, and that fucked up my relationship with him. I was an asshole back then and basically took advantage of his and his mom's help. Stole money from them for drugs, made them think I was getting help and needed money for rent. Not proud of what I did, and I absolutely deserved it when they both cut me out of their lives. Was only 21 at the time, and for 3 years I was out of control with my drinking and getting high all the time. It was a really bad period in my life. Second time I OD'd, I started going to rehab. I'm 29, sober for 5 years, got my GED, and working full-time at a recycling plant. Over a year ago, I decided to reach out to my brother. Wanted to show him that I changed my life around and want to reconnect with him because I know I fucked up in the past. My brother was willing to talk and slowly have been keeping touch through Zoom, phone calls, and TXTs. It's been so great having my brother back in my life. I know he still doesn't fully trust me, and I don't blame him. He's gotten married and has 2 kids. A girl and a boy ages 4 and 2. Still haven't met them because, like I said, I'm working on earning that trust, and he doesn't want them to know who I am just yet. Was never even shown a picture of them. That includes his wife or soon-to-be ex-wife. But turns out she's the fucking lying piece of shit I've hooked up with from time to time over the years. Met her YRS ago when I think I was 23/24. We took ecstasy together and hooked up at my buddy's house. We met again at another party 8 months later. From there we'd hook up every once in a while. But I never had a clue she was married. We went long periods without seeing each other, but I was busy with my job and working my program, so never thought anything of it. We were never anything serious, it was always about having sex and not seeing each other for months. Last time I saw her was close to 7 months ago. He found out last week. When he called me, I had no idea why he was so pissed, and he told me everything. About how he found she had another phone hidden in the house, and he found the texts she sent me. Then he'd confronted her wanting to know who the guy was, and she admitted it was me. IDK how much she told him, or if she's trying to throw me under the bus too. She knew all this time since me and him started talking again that I was his brother, and never said anything until she was caught. He was half yelling at me, half crying, that he couldn't believe I'd do this to him after all the shit he's done for me, and that I'm dead to him. No matter how many times I told him I didn't know it was her, he still didn't believe me. Eventually, he hung up on me, and all my calls are going to voicemail now. I've texted him 1,000,000 times explaining everything and telling him I'm sorry, but now I'm not getting anything. I can't imagine how much he's hurting right now. I hate that I'm the one who caused this. Now it's like I keep going back and thinking about why it never occurred to me that she probably was married with kids. Is it that I just didn't care to think about it? Would have never slept with a married woman, and now it looks like I've fucked up my relationship with him for life. It just hurts to think about it. We were doing so well, building things back up and going back to how we used to be. Now I've hurt him again, and I'm scared I'll never be able to see him or my niece and nephew ever. No regrets. I slept with my mother-in-law, with permission from her husband and my wife. Throwaway, as some other people know our Reddit handle and might not be too agreeable about this. It's a very long story, but I'll try and keep it short. My wife and I are in our early/mid-30s, been swinging for about 2 years now. She is from a super conservative family, 3 kids and really amazing, successful, loving and caring parents, and that's probably also a reason why she likes exploring her sexuality so much. Both us and her siblings live in different countries to the parents who are now in their 60s, and we visit about twice a year and usually stay with them in their house when we do. We try and not play with people in our own city. With our careers we have to be very discreet, so tend to look for swinging experiences, and we travel, including when we visit the parents-in-law in the country they live in. Needless to say, we tread carefully not to be found out when we are staying there. That was until our second last visit. We were on a swinging site, SDC, and lo and beyond, out of nowhere found a profile that quite clearly was that of her parents. Never picked it up, as always filtered for younger ages. Neither of us could have imagined in our wildest dreams that their parents would be into this, but seems they are. She was a bit appalled, but I've been attracted to her mother since I first met my wife. Who knows, I have a bit of thing for older women, so needless to say I was pretty excited. She is close to her mom, and after not being sure whether we bring it up with them, she eventually did to her mom. Won't go into the details here, but there was lots of crying but also some sense of relief for both of them. Turns out they used to do it mostly in their 50s, and just kept a profile mostly for my father-in-law to perv a bit. Anyway, so a few awkward dinners, not mentioning any of this again, we go home, and my wife and I start discussing it more. I made no secret of the fact that it is my ultimate dirty fantasy be sexual with her mother, and the amazing wife she is, seemed to be very comfortable with me saying things like that. She speaks to her mom regularly, and once again, without going into all the details, turns out the mom felt the same about me. Needless to say, swinging with her parents are totally off the table, but me and her mom by ourselves, something to consider. We all only swing as couples and have never done separate rooms, but given it's her mom and trust is high, the father-in-law and my wife both agree the mom and I can do it, only as a once-off. So on our next trip to them we have a super awkward meet-up, say nothing for a day or two, and then it comes up over dinner and drinks. Everyone is on board, and we agree it makes more sense if the mom and I go do it at a hotel. So on the Friday night the mom and I get picked up by our Uber and leave their family home with my wife and father-in-law there to go to a nice 5-star hotel in the city. The plan was to do dinner first, but straight after checking in, that's another story altogether, we had a lot of funny stares. It was close off and we never made it to the restaurant until we eventually left the next morning after having brunch in bed. It was the most explosive sex I've ever had. I think I came 4 or 5 times over that 18-hour period, my mother-in-law probably double that. And the Saturday night we are all having dinner like nothing happened. A few days later we leave for home and everyone all good, just one happy family. I love my wife endlessly, but it's so amazing to also have this experience with my mother-in-law, and must say it has made me genuinely love her even more too. And believe it or not, more than happy if it never happens again. It was just a great bonding experience for us all. That's it. Smiley face.